Really well. Just had a talk in there, and basically, I guess I've been an entrepreneur for most of my adult life, in one way or another. Right now, and I work in a tech company, but at the same time, I do consult startups, and also I kind of feel that I need to be doing a lot of free time projects as well in order to kind of stay sharp and kind of keep tabs on what's happening on the market and so on. So plus I love these speaking engagements because it's kind of lets me test out my ideas with an audience really quickly, see reactions, and kind of also I just like public speaking.
Yeah. So, what's your experience with entrepreneurship and being in a free-minded corporate?
Um, so I've founded 5 different kind of companies. One of them was a tech startup, and then there's been everything from making websites to coding to sales and everything in between. And then now in that tech company, I've been actually doing quite similar stuff to what I did as an entrepreneur, but obviously the company is bigger, so I don't have to be doing everything myself. So I think that's usually it's very freeing because then you can focus on what you're actually good at. You don't have to be fighting with kind of accounting or stuff like that. That's not my kind of core competency. But then on the other hand, sometimes it would be kind of fun to just do stuff which is not in my comfort zone, just to be kind of growing and pushing me, forward. And that's why I have these kind of free time projects. I coach a nonprofit programming workshop program, and I consult smaller startups and so on. And basically, the point of that is just to push my boundaries all the time. So then that kind of goes back to my work in the corporate world, where now I can integrate all of that learning into my work.
Yeah,
So yeah.
great. Yeah, because I'm from Germany, it's great to see here in Finland and especially in Helsinki being such a high potential for a startup community where it's not just a community where you meet and talk a lot about ideas, but you're actually contributing and giving and not just taking shares of a company and then see what happens. That's what I experienced being really, really cool about this. So, what's your thoughts for young people? If they say, "Yeah, should I start a startup? Should I get into a business or a corporate thing?" Yeah, what's your thoughts about it?
Sure. Well, I think that when people ask me, should they start a business, I'm kind of cautious of the act of starting a business itself, meaning filing for the company code and kind of the kind of official part of that. I think it's more important to find customers who actually love your products. And I think before starting a company, one should ensure that she has a product that people actually enjoy using and paying for, because otherwise there's a risk that as a first-time entrepreneur, you set up your company and then you only start thinking about, so okay, who's going to be my customer, and you might spend a lot of money and effort on kind of setting up the kind of scaffolding of the company, meaning those accounting software and hiring an accountant and all of that kind of stuff that is necessary for just operating a business, even if it doesn't make €1 of revenue.
Yeah, like lean.
Yeah,
Lean
it's
startup.
kind of, I mean, lean startup is kind of repackaging this kind of lean mentality or philosophy that's coming from, I guess, Toyota originally from 80s or even late 70s, and basically, I think that it's kind of overall wisdom that the lean startup has packaged in a way which is kind of easily digestible and understandable by our generation, because it kind of gives you a little bit more specific guidance on what lean means when it comes to companies. But whether or not you call it lean, I think it's just important. And I think it was it Peter Drucker or whoever, like these old management gurus, who said that the meaning of a company is really to find a customer to serve, and I truly subscribe to that. So if you don't have customers, then I don't see the point of, building a company either.
Spending time and money for nothing and just experience after years
Yeah.
that nobody wants it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can't say that it's for nothing. It might be a painful kind of learning experience if you do that, and I've certainly done it many times, but I'm just, I've felt that you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to inflict pain on yourself, in that way. I mean, you can save those moments for where it actually counts. So, I mean, when you find that first customer who is willing to pay and you know that you can serve those customers, then by all means, you can look into starting that company.
Great. So what do you think about the JYE alumni conference, and how did you get involved into it?
Well, I mean, it's funny because what I understood that it's the 10th anniversary year for the conference or the organization, I guess.
Yeah.
And it so happens that actually I also enrolled to the year as an entrepreneur program in high school 10 years ago. So it's kind of a funny coincidence. Yeah, I mean, I think it's great to have young, enthusiastic, entrepreneurially minded people visiting other countries and getting together and learning from each other. And I think it's a great honor for Finland to be hosting the kind of 10th, kind of celebration for the 10th anniversary. I didn't know really what to expect, but the audience there was great. And from what I've kind of interviewed the organizers, to my understanding, there's been some great discussion and networking and so on. So I really think that these things are, you can't put a number on the value of this, but it is for certain going to be connecting, the future's rising stars in Europe. And I think that's very important.
I think also that you can learn from a lot of people just around you, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's kind of good thing to be both having a strong local community, but then also connecting that local community to other local communities. So, for instance, here at the StartUp Sauna, they organize, I think it's like twice a year or something like that, trips to the Silicon Valley, for instance. And then they bring companies from the Baltics and Russia and the Nordics here as well. And I think it all serves the purpose of kind of mixing the waters a bit in a positive way where people learn from each other. So I think that this kind of activities is kind of laying the groundwork for not kind of stagnating the community, but actually bringing fresh ideas and ways of working. So I'm really excited about this kind of activity.
Thank you.